At 5 o'clock, we're talking about convicted killer Scott Nelson asks for death, why he's hoping the jury gives him what he wants as the multi-week trial wraps up. Julie Gargata joining us live with the latest. A puppy, this puppy that you see right here, pulled from a very hot car, is now in good hands. The two other dogs he was found with did not make it. What the next steps are for Gruff the puppy as we teach you the dangers of leaving pets and humans in your car. And cold weather shelter controversy continues in Flagler County. The discussion getting very heated. Why the ones in charge of the area's only shelter are considering legal action. Good Tuesday morning, everybody. Time right now, 5 o'clock. I'm Ibeth Brusual. That puppy is a big talker this morning, and we're going to give you the details as to when that little doggy will be up for adoption. Okay, let's talk with Ryan Harper about what's happening out on the roads. Any trouble right now?
Overall quiet, but there is a wreck that we're tracking about already in Volusia County. I'll tell you where that is. There's some road blockage associated with it, so I'll tell you how to get around it as well coming up after weather.
And guess who's back? Certified meteorologist Ray McCann joining us live at 5:01 with a look at the forecast. So rain is going to be part of the deal for today.
Today and the next few days, high rain chances for us. Even this morning, depending on where your morning drive takes you, you may have to encounter some showers. This is a 12-hour loop, just showing you the coverage from yesterday, how it faded out overnight. But now we have some showers with some thunder and lightning embedded coming off the Gulf of Mexico. I want to switch over to a more localized perspective of our radar to show you that most of I-4 is in good shape now. I'll take you through the rain chances hour by hour at 5:11. Let's get over to Ryan right now, though. He has that first check of real-time traffic. Hey, Ryan.
Thank you, Mo. Good morning. Top of the 5 o'clock hour. There is a wreck across our board. It does involve some injuries, unfortunately, according to FHP, and some blockage as well. This is going to be the DeLand area, International Speedway Boulevard at Spring Garden Avenue along International Speedway Boulevard itself. So if you're traveling maybe east or west throughout the immediate area, you can take either maybe a Glenwood Road or Plymouth Avenue, both to the north and the south, just heading east or west in that specific area. In less than 10 minutes, we'll talk about some construction starting to wrap up for the morning commute. But for right now, this update brought to you by your Central Florida Hyundai dealers.
Mr. Nelson, do you want to be sentenced to death?
Yes.
A wild day in court yesterday as the man convicted of murdering a local woman in 2017 took the stand during the penalty phase of the trial. Spectrum News 13's Julie Gargata is joining us live once again, as she was yesterday from the Orange County Courthouse. Julie, good morning to you. So what's the latest for Scott Nelson as the jury considers his fate?
Good morning, Beth. Yeah, we could see closing arguments as early as today. The jury weighing whether to give Nelson the death penalty or life in prison. Meanwhile, the man himself took the stand yesterday. Take a listen.
How has your mental health been affected by your previous incarceration?
I am a homicidal maniac.
Some pretty eye-popping moments there as Nelson told jurors he wanted the death sentence, that after hoping to sway them earlier in a different direction, a more lenient sentence, detailing unfair treatment over his 20 years in various prisons, claiming he was beaten and raped. Now, throughout this sentencing phase, we've heard from doctors to family members to prison wardens. Meanwhile, this was the second time during the trial that Nelson took the stand himself. In late June, Nelson was convicted of the 2017 killing of Jennifer Fulford, a nanny and personal assistant in Winter Park. The day ended with the state presenting testimony as well. Court's back in session today at 9 o'clock. We'll, of course, have a crew in there, Jeff Allen, bringing you the very latest details. For now, reporting live in downtown Orlando, Julie Gargata, Spectrum News 13.
In other local news at 5:05, deputies are searching for a shooting suspect accused of killing a man in Pine Hills. It happened just before 8:30 last night along Alhambra Drive. The victim was pronounced dead at the hospital. It's the second deadly shooting in that community since Saturday. A Melbourne police officer is in the hospital this morning, and a man is waking up behind bars after a shoplifting incident in Brevard County. Investigators say the suspect stole shorts from the Bells on O'Galley Boulevard yesterday morning. The loss prevention officer told police he saw the man with a knife in his hand, so he did not approach him. A Melbourne officer tried to take the man into custody, but he threw her to the ground and she hurt her knee.
He's made an incredibly big jump from stealing shorts to striking an officer and doing damage. Absolutely.
Here's a look at the suspect, Justin Gentgen. Officers in Satellite Beach caught up to him later in the day. He's sitting at the Brevard County Jail this morning. Time right now is almost 5:10. We're going to get to your wet weather on the ones. Lots of rain coming our way in just a moment. But right now, Ryan Harper has a real-time traffic check. So cone watch in effect. Any cones to worry about this morning?
A lot of those cones have been removed to begin the 5 o'clock hour. Beth, we had lots of construction overnight along the beach line, I-4, Statewide 408. A lot of that, though, has cleared out. Over to our weather center with certified meteorologist Maureen McCann with our weather on the ones. Mo, first of all, welcome back. And number two, we've had some rain the last few days. Can we expect any more today?
Thanks, and it's good to be back, even though the weather pattern is a bit unsettled, kind of a continuation of the last couple of days. So yes, we can plan on more rain today, even this morning, although we don't have any rain actually falling right now in downtown Orlando. This is the FBC Mortgage Weather Cam. But if you're about to leave the house, rain gear definitely a good idea, so you don't get caught without an umbrella today, because we will be facing some downpours. Pretty muggy out there, upper 70s with winds out of the south. Today will become a little bit more breezy. I think you'll really notice that tomorrow too, with the wind speeds picking up from the south. The weekend forecast looks ahead to some slightly lower rain chances, but the trade-off will be hotter temperatures. I'll spell out the rain chances to show you which days we're most likely to see rainy, Beth, coming up at 5:21.
Wonderful. Okay, we'll see you in less than 10 minutes at 5:21. I'm sure folks are up getting their juice and coffee this morning. Time right now, 5:13. Okay, let's talk about this now. A fire at a SpaceX manufacturing facility could cause a huge setback for the company. The next steps the company needs to take before getting back on track. We'll be right back.
It's hard to get sleep during a hurricane. People are really focused on their own families.
We are going through the same emotions that people at home are experiencing when a storm's pushing through.
We've got our homes here, we've got our families here. We understand what they're going through.
There's no need to panic during a hurricane. We walk you through what's going to happen hour by hour
To help you prepare for what's coming next.
The weather experts on Spectrum News 13, exclusively on Spectrum.
Florida Lottery is brought to you by Trial Pro. Here are the winning numbers.
Well, the state fire marshal is investigating that fire at SpaceX's cocoa manufacturing facility, which caused tens of thousands of dollars in damage. Flames broke out at that facility around noon yesterday. So a shipping container and equipment were damaged. So far, they're blaming an electrical fault. No one was injured, and it's unclear what the long-term impacts will be. A family is mourning the loss of a toddler while on vacation. The girl's grandfather says he accidentally dropped her from an 11th story of a cruise ship while docked in Puerto Rico. The extended family from Indiana was traveling aboard Royal Caribbean's Freedom of the Seas. The police in Puerto Rico say the girl was being held out of a window at the time of the fall. They say the grandpa is under investigation and the family is staying on the island during the investigation. In an emailed statement, Royal Caribbean Cruises said in part is deeply saddened by this incident. By the way, that ship's current port is in San Juan, but it previously sailed out of Port Canaveral.
21 minutes past the hour on this Tuesday morning. I'm meteorologist Maureen McCann. Hope you're having a good day so far. It's another day to grab the rain gear. You'll need it from time to time, even this morning, but certainly during the afternoon as we continue with this pattern of very active conditions with daily rain chances and lots of tropical downpour. Average high for this time of the year in Orlando is 92, so with more clouds around, we will keep those temperatures just under the average, around 90 degrees. We'll keep these rain chances elevated for the next few days. Temperatures will gradually come up as rain chances go down over the weekend, but between now and Friday, you can pretty much plan on these daily rain chances, giving us some downpours from time to time each afternoon. Here is your pollen forecast. We'll be back at 31 past, showing you what to expect if you're going to the beaches today. Right now, it's over to traffic. We'll get a live look at Storm Tracker 13 Doppler radar.
Good Tuesday morning, 5:24, your current time. I'm Ryan Harper with a check of your real-time traffic. We are tracking a wreck out there that we do know now. We got some confirmation from Volusia County Sheriff that this involves an overturned semi here on International Speedway Boulevard, also known as US 92, near Spring Garden Avenue. So, for the meantime, traveling east or west throughout the area because there's some blockage there. Glenwood Road to the north, Plymouth Avenue to the south. I'll take you back and forth, essentially between Grand Avenue, Spring Garden, and then US 17 for that matter there as well. In terms of congestion along I-4, looks like maybe a little bit of roadwork still wrapping up on the westbound side, pretty close to State Road 434 in that Longwood area, so be on the lookout for that. Again, that's the westbound side of I-4. Now, coming up at the bottom of the hour, we'll also take a closer look towards the attractions, but for right now, this update brought to you by your Central Florida Hyundai dealers.
Time now for your Tuesday morning health headlines. More than half of adults report using dietary supplements, but research suggests that most vitamins and minerals do not do anything for heart health. Well, crews are still picking up the pieces days after the explosion at a South Florida shopping plaza. Why it could take investigators weeks to figure out what caused the blast, that's in our next half hour.
As a little girl, I dreamed of doing this. Journalism was always at the core of what I do. There are so many important stories to tell, and I feel lucky to be able to tell some of those stories. Central Florida is such a vibrant, thriving community, and it's exactly why I want to raise my family here. There's a lot of folks in our community that are doing really important things, and I feel really honored that I get to tell their story, and I take that responsibility very seriously.
I'm Julie Ergata, weekend anchor, Spectrum News 13.
More than 50 counties around the state are getting more money for election security, and one of them, right here in Central Florida, is getting the biggest chunk of money. How recent events have raised the call for funds. Jerry Hume joining us for that story in a moment. The first 2020 presidential hopeful, is suspending his campaign. Why one Florida activist says that Democrat needs to continue his fight in Congress now. Hi, everybody. So glad you're waking up with Spectrum News 13 this Tuesday. I'm Yvette Brussois. We have a lot to get to, but first, Ryan Harper, what are you seeing out on the roads right now?
I'm seeing a wreck that we're continuing to track in Volusia County involving an overturned semi, and we're also tracking some congestion I-4 in Seminole County, so we'll talk about those after weather.
And speaking of which, let's get to the forecast right now at 5:31, live weather on the ones with certified meteorologist Maria McCann. So walk us through what you're seeing out there now and what's coming our way throughout the day.
Yeah, there is a little bit of rain out there right now, but the radar will only become more active into the afternoon as showers and thunderstorms grow in coverage.
Time right now, 5:32. More money is coming to Central Florida to beef up election security and provide more equipment ahead of the 2020 election. So the Florida Department of State just approved an additional $2.3 million for 55 counties in Florida. Spectrum News 13's Jerry Hume is live at the Orange County Supervisor of Elections office, where, Jerry, they got the largest chunk of money from any county in the state.
Oh, yeah, Beth. Orange County Supervisor of Elections got more than $500,000 from this state grant. Volusia County also won big, more than $317 million. Now, according to the Florida Department of State, this money comes from some unspent funds that Governor Ron DeSantis has requested go to enhance election security. Cyber threats continue to remain one of the big fears for the 2020 presidential election. Russian hackers were able to infiltrate 2 Florida counties during the 2016 election. One of those we know was Washington County. Although hackers weren't able to change the results, it did put pressure on lawmakers who earlier this year approved an additional $2.8 million for election security. This extra $2.3 million just announced will be used for more equipment and tools to help. All Central Florida counties except Seminole received grant funding. Right now, the Department of State is assessing our election system at both the state and county level. Any issues they find, the state says, will be addressed before the 2020 presidential preference primary next March. Live here in Orlando, Jerry Hume, Spectrum News 13.
Time right now, 5:40. Live weather on the ones, talking about rain, and we'll get to Maureen in a moment. Right now, Ryan Harper has a real-time traffic check on a Tuesday morning. So any wet roads to deal with right now?
I would say no in terms of it really be affecting the roadway at all, Eva. But take a look at this congestion behind me here. We've been talking about this for the last 10 to 15 minutes or so, that it's pretty unusual this time of the morning to see these delays already in Seminole County. This is I-4 westbound, pretty close to State Road 434, so that's the Longwood area, as a matter of fact. No reports of any wrecks in that specific area. Might be some road work a little bit further down the road, but now we'll send it over to our weather center with certified meteorologist Marie McCann for our weather of the ones. And Mo, Beth was talking about potential water along the roadways today. Will that be a factor maybe for the afternoon commute?
Yeah, and coming up, I'll show you what the rainfall potential is today, how much rain gauges may fill up, because we've been so accustomed to downpours the last couple of days. Today, we will be looking at the same. But this morning, we don't have any rain right now in the immediate metro areas. We stopped by the FBC Mortgage Weather Cam, looking out over downtown Orlando here at 541. The view looks pretty good, but there are some showers not too far away. Here are the temperatures. They are between 75 and 78 for the most part, an outlier being Lakeland at 73 degrees. So rain gear essential today. Also some indoor activities if you're here on vacation. We'll be dodging these downpours from time to time through the afternoon. It's still going to be hot and muggy. You'll be around 90 degrees. That number may vary if you get any breaks of sun or if you're locked in the clouds. Coming up at 51 minutes past the hour, it will be time for the tropical update. So I'll go more in depth on this feature that's still over land and what that means for our rain chances going forward for the rest of the week.
Went to the store yesterday afternoon and got some batteries.
Good idea. I
have my hurricane kit, but it's not complete just yet.
Okay, well, I'm proud of you for making steps to get it to where it needs to be.
I can hear you in my head. Get the tarps, get the batteries.
I was probably saying that to you in April and May, too. So if you're doing it in July, at least you're doing it.
Better late than never, right? Okay, time right now, 5:44. We'll see you in less than 10 minutes at 5:51. Okay, so the MLB Home Run Derby was one for the ages. We'll show you how one player hit more than 90 home runs and still did not win. And our Sports Minute on the other side of the break. We'll be right back.
I'm John Alba, and this is your Toyota Sports Minute.
School is out for the summer, but we're highlighting A-plus teachers throughout the year. Coming up, we'll show you how one teacher's efforts are setting children up for success, even when they're not in the classroom.
Time for your tropical update. It's 51 minutes past the hour after a fairly quiet start to the Atlantic hurricane season, which officially began on June 1st. We're now finding some potential activity, and we may have a named storm here before the week is through. If you are going to be out and about today, want to spend some time on the playground, do it early before the showers and thunderstorms really get going. But even this morning, there will be some rain to contend with for your morning commute. Rain chances high the next few days. They finally come down by the weekend as our temperatures start to come up again. Back in less than 10 minutes, looking at where we have some rain for the morning commute. So over to Ryan now for traffic, and we'll get a live look at Storm Tracker 13 Doppler radar.
Good Tuesday morning, 5:54, your current time. I'm Ryan Harper with a check of your real-time traffic, and I'm showing you this particular camera here. Still looks like a lane possibly blocked, I-4 on the westbound side near State Road 434 in the Longwood area. Take a look at these delays that we've seen associated with that particular area. It looks like they're starting to clear it out, but still a significant pocket as you cross over that E.E. Williamson overpass on your way towards State Road 434. Give yourself maybe an extra 5 or 10 minutes of travel time, but those delays are going to rapidly thin out once that lane is cleared, which it looks like it just happened a couple of minutes ago. Coming up at the top of the hour, we'll talk about a wreck that we're still tracking as well in Volusia County. But for right now, this update brought to you by your Central Florida Hyundai dealers.
Even though school is out for the summer in Osceola County, A-plus teacher is hoping her students' love of reading carries them until the school bell rings again and beyond. Our evening anchor, Tammy Fields, shows you how a tail-wagging tutor is helping out. You can still nominate a teacher who's making a difference in your life, even though it is summer break. Just send us an email at this address, teachers@charter.com, and we'll reach out to them. Anyone can send in a nomination, parents, students, friends, teachers, principals. And stay with us. We'll have another A-plus teacher from Central Florida next week at this very same time, right here on Spectrum News 13.
Time now for a look at what's happening in our community, sponsored by Todd Minor Law.
Mornings can be unpredictable, and you don't have time to waste. Rely on your morning news on Spectrum News 13 to get you caught up and ready for the day. From the morning headlines,
New this morning, we spoke with FDOT about
to the very latest on the roadways.
Right now, I'm tracking a wreck.
And your forecast every 10 minutes.
For the next few days, this is going to be impacting our weather.
We'll give you the information you need.
Stand by, you bet.
And we won't waste your time.
Your morning news, weekdays 5 to 9 on Spectrum News 13, exclusively on Spectrum.